It's January here in Colorado in Zone 6A, just outside of Boulder. And what I love to do this time of year is to stay indoors as I look outdoors and imagine what my garden will be come spring. And to help me do that, it's time to start sowing seeds, and that's what we're going to do on today's vlog. Welcome back to this week's vlog, and I am so excited to share with you one of the things that I am most passionate about with gardening, and that is growing from seeds. And I have right here in front of me that you can't see so many different seed packets, so we're going to talk about those in a few. But we're going to talk today about indoor seed planting, which, let me just take you back, 40 years. I'll make this quick, I promise. And to the day that I first discovered gardening altogether, and it was from a packet of seeds. And a friend of mine had recommended, I was recently divorced, I had moved into this new home. The only thing they gave us was a little bit of sod for our front yard, me at that point. And they just said, here you go. And then I discovered how expensive it was to landscape a yard. And I lived on a corner lot of a cul-de-sac. And so this friend had said to me, well, why don't you just grow a garden? Just get seeds. It's so much cheaper that way. And I thought, well, yeah, okay. So I looked, and I think seeds then were like $1.35 a packet. They haven't gone up too much over the years, but maybe even 75 cents. Because this was like 40 years ago. And I grew my first garden. And I tell you, from the first moment that I saw that little seedling coming out of the ground, I was hooked. I was totally hooked on what was going to happen next. What was going to happen next? Did I make mistakes? Did some stuff die? Oh, yeah. But then by the time that I had married my current husband, who I've been married to for 37 years, thank you very much, Ed Ruskus, for giving me a great life. We moved to this house that we live in now, which we've been in for 30 years. And we grew a garden, and it's been great. So, but I always enjoy seeds because, one, the cost savings is so much better. And about 4 years ago, I started sowing indoors, and I was a little nervous about it. And again, it had seemed like, and I think more when my kids were smaller, and my heart goes out to all the moms out there who have littles who demand so much out of your days. But as my kids got older and were more independent, and even 4 years ago, they were literally gone, they had flown the nest, I decided to try indoor gardening. And I have had many mistakes along my way, to be sure, but I've also learned a lot of things, which is what I love about gardening, right? You try it, it works out, it doesn't work out, you can't expect perfection, and you go from there. And I'll just share with you what's going on here. And we have in our basement it's a workout. I'll show you around here a little bit. It's our workout room. I've got my little trampoline here, and it's also our laundry room. So we have a lot of activity that goes on in this room. So I needed to be able to do the seed starting, but not have it take over this room, because we're in here all the time, working out and doing the things that we do, my husband and I. So the first thing I got was this light system here, because if you want to do indoor gardening, the very first rule that I will tell you is don't think you can do it from your windows, because it's just that your plants are reaching so far for the light that they just never do well. So you really need a grow light. And I got this one grow light right here, was my very first one from Root Farm, not sponsored in any way. It's just, I went on Amazon to see what I could find, and that's what I found was the Root Farm one, and I really liked it. It was a good place for me to start. I did, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and I'll show you here. Let's go over here, and I got, let's see if I can, yeah. So here it was, and I got these little starters from Epic Gardening. I did get those from Epic Gardening. They're little plastic. They're a hard plastic, so I have used these over and over and over again. Since I got these, they've got them in really cool colors too. But you can go to Epic Gardening and get those, or you can, I don't know if they're on Amazon or not, but the grow lights, these are LED grow lights, I did get from the Root Farm, and yeah, they were a great investment. And so they've been going for 4 years. And then I started also to get other lights, because as the plants get bigger, and I do have to contain myself, I will tell you, last year I started my tomato plants in February, way too soon. And we'll talk about that more as we go, either today or in the weeks ahead. But then I had to go start getting other lights. Like this is another grow light that you can put over any table that you have. It is adjustable, you know, so that's great. I also have this one, which, hold on, I have many. So, and here's what I'll tell you, it's just grow slowly but surely. So I've been doing it for 4 years. So every year I get another something. But this year I don't think I'm going to have to. I feel like I'm pretty set, especially because for Christmas, my husband got me this unit, which he got from, what's their name? It's just gone out of my head, but it's okay. It's a little flimsy. I'm not really happy with that, but I'm hoping that once the plants are in, and it does come on wheels. We had a few assembly problems, but anyway, so there's that this year is going to add to it. And then the other thing that I did, let me move this around here, is that this bookshelf, it was just one of my kids' bookshelves, leftover bookshelves, and we put grow lights on, let me see if I can show you that. We put grow lights up in the top of it, right up there, if you could see that, so that we can put plants in there as well as they get taller and bigger. And usually I'll start them here with a little heating pad. We'll talk about that more later too, but yeah, so it gives me a lot of space. Sometimes I pull out TV trays, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen. And as we go every week, I'll be showing you where I'm at. I probably won't start, I'm trying to contain myself is what I'll tell you. So this week is really about getting organized. Because all these things were out, I have them in just a big plastic bin that I put out in the barn. And I just brought them in, the lights and all of this. So, and all the trays, I have like these big trays. So this year I don't need to buy really, like I said, anything except for the seeds. Now I have I call it my treasure chest, which is full of seeds. And then I have little boxes full of seeds. I just have a lot of seeds that it's a little bit of an obsession with me. Okay, I'll just share that with you. So I'm kind of right now, I'm taking inventory and I am looking to get organized. And I got this at Michael's Hobby Supply, and it was on sale then, and it was on sale the other day when I was in there too for like $14 or something like that. But it has, let me show you this. It has, if I can get it open, little containers, and we'll see how this all works out. But little containers that I can, you know, start to separate the seeds in. So I'm going to work on that. I'll show that to you next week because it's going to take me some time to go through all that I have. Now, what seeds do you want to grow indoors? There's a lot to talk about that. And, you know, on the back of every packet of seeds, it'll tell you when to start inside. You know, it tells you that, when to start inside. And like these cherry tomatoes, chocolate cherry, which is very appealing to me. I don't know about you. But it says that these don't go until after the first frost. And so, you know, tomatoes, and like I said, last year I got a little overzealous. So I won't start growing these inside until March. Last year I got a little ahead of myself. We'll talk more about that. But there's some seeds, and again, you'll grow and you'll learn, that I really like to grow outdoors. Zinnias are my favorite seeds. They're my favorite flowers. So therefore, they're my favorite seeds. And I've already gotten a few new kinds. And now, and Botanical Interests is a company that I have used a lot this year. I'm experimenting with a few others to see if I like them or not. So far, I don't, because like one, I've tried this company, High Mowing. I ordered 15 packets of seeds. I got one, no mention of the back order, none of it. I double checked my order. I've emailed them about it. I haven't heard anything back. Sorry, High Mowing, but I'm not very impressed. Botanical Interests. I loved the company for years. They were sold last year to Epic Gardening, but I love Epic Gardening, so I couldn't be happier that they bought them. But most of my seeds, as I look around, are Botanical Interests, because again, they started here in my little town in Niwot, here in Colorado. Now I am Zone 6A now. We used to be 5A, now we're 6A, and 6A, 6B, pretty close in there. And I just find if I sow these in the ground in June, I'm fine. And they're healthier, they're happier. I like to do that. So there's some seeds that are better direct sowed, and then there's others that are not. Last year I did eggplant. I did them inside, and I had some lovely eggplant outdoors for the very first time ever. There's some things like, this is arugula. And I prefer to do all of my salad, which I have a ton of it because I love to grow lettuce. I grow them, I direct sow them. I just find they're easier, they're healthier. I will direct sow them right around April 15-ish. Now, our first frost date here in Colorado, in this part of Colorado, 6A, like I said, is... it's Mother's Day, give or take. But now that might be changing with but lettuce I put in around the middle of April, and it will last me all summer long if I'm constantly harvesting it, cutting it back, getting if you don't, it'll bolt. And where I have my lettuce beds, which I'll show you down the road, it just makes for, it's a very cool spot in the garden, and it's been awesome for my lettuce. What else did I want to tell you today? It's really about getting organized. It's really about reading the back of your packets. You know, I was just reading last night about, I'm going to try doing onions. These onions. I'm going to try doing onions indoors this year for the first time. And so here's an example of what it says is to start recommended 10 to 12 weeks before your average first frost date, and then you can transplant outdoors 4 to 6 weeks before the frost date. So the thing is, I need to get on these so the beginning of February, I really think that I'll have decided by next week's, here's my commitment. By next week's vlog, I will have committed to what I'm going to be planting indoors. I have a soil situation or a dirt situation I have to deal with between now and then. So I have been getting my seed starter, and seed starter is just a little bit of a lighter potting soil from our local, I won't put their name out there. You probably maybe saw it, but garden center, and it's their own blend. And I've always thought, oh, it's peat free, because the thing with peat is it's a very non-sustainable product. I won't get into all that, but it's just, you can read about peat is not a good thing to be using if you care about the earth and all of that, because it's just not sustainable. And I was sad to learn that the seed starter, which I have a couple bags of it already because I've been preparing for all of this, have peat in it. I'm going to go ahead and use them because it's been done, but I am going to find a solution between now and next week. And that's the whole thing I would tell you about gardening, indoors or out, is that you find solutions, and to be as sustainable as possible is really important. One of the things that I don't do, it's something called soil blocking, which maybe next year. I keep saying, I'm thinking about it, but it seems a little daring to me, which is a good thing. But I do have these plastic, like I showed you, containers that I use, these little guys, and they're easy to get the plants out and all this. And I've had these for 4 years. I'm going to have them for many more years to come because they're so sturdy. So because I have these, I'm not as concerned about soil blocking, but soil blocking is another thing to do. But one step at a time, I say. It's important. I've tried these little units, which I also got on Amazon, that you can do, and we'll talk about why it's important to cover them and heat and all that as we go next week. So I just spilled these everywhere. But for this week, I'm going to get organized. I'm going to get my seeds figured out and what it is that I'm going to grow indoors. I do love growing peppers. I did these sweet banana peppers last year, and they were so good. Oh my gosh. And this year I also have some Anaheim chilies that I got. And I don't like really hot peppers, but my husband does, so I have some habaneros for him and some sweet bell blends as well. So all of these I'm going to get organized. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. And one of the things, I think I put that in my treasure chest, that I got were some special seeds. What did I do with them? Here they are. Some special seeds from Park Seed, which is another seed company that I haven't used before. And these are geranium seeds. There's 10 seeds in here. And I think that was like $5. So they were a little expensive, but I got some geraniums that here's what I would say. I would not get seeds off of Amazon. Like, I get a lot of things off of Amazon. I would not get seeds off of Amazon because everything I got off of Amazon last year did not germinate. I got a variety of different seeds just to try it out, and they didn't germinate, including some geraniums, which I was so bummed. So Park Seeds were highly recommended to me, and so there's 10 little seeds in this. Where other packets, if you look at that, and it will tell you on every packet, like this one here of the Sweet Bell blend has 30 seeds. So you get a lot of seeds, and that's why too, like with lettuce seeds, oh my gosh, I have this right here is a whole box of just partly used packets from last year that I didn't even need all of them, whether I was direct sowing them outside or sowing them inside. So there's a lot to get your arms around when it looks at beginning seeds, but the key, as with anything in life, right, is to begin. We must begin. And so I encourage you to do that. I'm going to get to sorting my seeds, and I want to let you know about something we're going to do starting this very week, which is tomorrow. As this recording comes out, is that we've got two things this week. One is we're going to start doing our Wednesday Garden Wisdom, and in that we're going to keep a look on your YouTube feed. Be sure to subscribe, because if you subscribe, I'll show up in your feed. Remember, there's no cost to subscribe. Somebody said that to me the other day. How much does it cost to subscribe to YouTube? $0. And one of the things I'd even recommend is if you, I'm always talking about money here and, cost effectiveness, but one of my favorite online things to pay for, as you know, we all pay for a lot of streaming services, etc., is YouTube, because there's no commercials and it's just a lot easier on many levels, let me just say. And you get more. I feel like since I've been a subscriber of YouTube for probably, I want to say 3 years maybe. And it's been great. It's like my go-to for entertainment, education, etc. And I hope it becomes that way for you too. What was I going to say? So we're doing Wednesday Garden Wisdom. And so look in your feed, and I'll give you a multiple choice question about different gardening things. And so look for this week's. We're going to be talking about cool weather crops. And so I hope you enjoy that. All right. And then also this week, I'm going to be on live talking about the book Atomic Habits. So if you're watching this down the road, it'll be in our feed for our book chats. I do those occasionally. I haven't done one for a long time, but we're going to do a book chat this week on live and Atomic Habits as we record this. It's January, and you know, one of the reasons that a lot of our intentions don't happen, or goals, or whatever you want to call them, is because our bad habits get in the way and we don't make habits towards the intentions that we're trying to do. And I believe that if you want to have the time for gardening, you gotta make the intention to do it, to make that change in your life, because gardening, you know, as our tagline says, happiness begins in the garden. Gardening is a spiritual experience for me. It soothes my soul. It makes me happy. And if I can make habits so that I can have more time to garden, you know I'm going to do it. So that's it for this week. I hope that your week is going good. Think about the seeds. Kind of cruise through some sites like Botanical Interests or Park Seed, or what's the other one I was looking at? Because some of them, be very careful of. They charge a lot of, there was Johnny Seeds. And again, I'm not making money from anybody on any of this. Is Johnny Seeds. They wanted to charge $12 for about 5 packets of seeds to send in the mail. And I ended up canceling my order. Didn't want to do that. But who was it? Baker Seeds. Don't charge. I'm waiting for an order from them. They don't charge anything for shipping. And usually Botanical Interests, they will have every now and again free shipping, or if you order so much, they have free shipping and all of that. Look at these zinnias. Oh, cactus zinnias. I love them. Oh. All right. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much. And we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Take good care.